There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
What's up, the internet? It's me, and that's Dan.
Yep.
I didn't even think about trying to come up with something clever for this week.
You try other weeks?
Yeah, I try. I never said it was successful.
Okay.
Because we don't have a ton of new comics this week. It's a really light week for me. And most of the books I was going to have on my list were also on Dan's list.
Yeah, there's a lot of new number ones and a lot of new things hitting the shops this week.
Right,
So,
but like my pull list this week is only $100, which is $70 or so less than normal. So that's
right.
a light week for me.
Yeah.
So, it gives us some time to talk about some other things if we want to. It
Right.
also gives us time to really break down things like Shazam and Blue and Gold.
Blue and Gold, yes.
And
Dan Jurgens' return to the characters he loves.
right. And why your mom is here. AKA Mom, Mother of Madness.
Ah.
Right. Mom, Space Knight. Can you imagine if you took the Rom Space Knight story and what is that? What's the character from Spaceballs?
Mega Maid?
Yes, Mega Maid. I imagine that's what Mom, Mother of Madness is about.
Are you talking about the Mega Maid, which is the ship they get turned in that Spaceball 1 becomes?
Yes.
Or are you talking about Dot Matrix, the Joan Rivers character?
Well, really either, but mainly the ship. Yeah. So.
They switched her from blow to suck.
Yeah. Such a good movie. All right. So do we want to just start tearing into... can we start with DC?
Sure.
All right.
You seem to have this mat on for doing Shazam, so do you want to get right into Shazam?
Because when I was trying to remake the Dan Wickline show opener today and realized that I couldn't just because we had the wrong file type and we can get that corrected for tomorrow, I decided to make this.
Shazam! Shazam! Shazam!
I originally had one where it ends with Andy going, Shazam. But that didn't make it into the final cut, but Shazam did.
Yes, Shazam. We have a new Shazam series from Tim Sheridan and Clayton Henry. This it's a spinoff from the Titans Academy book series. It says Billy Batson came to the Titans Academy looking for answers. Why was the rest of his adopted family cut off from the power of Shazam? Why are his own powers becoming increasingly unreliable? The answers send Billy on an outrageous adventure that not only change him, but he has an immense impact on the school and other students on Titans Island. So if you are currently reading Titans Academy, you're going to want to pick up this series. It ties into it, Teen Titans Academy. So
right, and Titans Academy has been real good. It's been one of the best team books they have over there at DC right now. And I like Billy Batson. There's a first baseman who plays for the Atlanta Braves named Freddie Freeman.
I know about him. Different spelling, though.
Well, but had a very good season last year, and so I sent a friend of mine who was covering them in the playoffs a request. Can you ask him to say Shazam and see what happens? My friend did ask him. He didn't get the joke. He said it, and nothing happened.
He's not supposed to say Shazam. He's supposed to say Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but now we get into problems with licensing rights and the use of the word Marvel.
I'm just saying that if he's going to become Captain Marvel Jr., he's got to say the right magic word.
It's true. By the way, do you know why Jim Neighbors said Shazam is Gomer Pyle?
It does have to do with the comic, doesn't it?
It does. Is he was a big fan of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Jim Neighbors himself was, and so the character was. So they're like, you need a catchphrase, and golly, isn't it? Even though it totally was.
Yeah.
And so he goes, what about Shazam? And they're like, that works.
You know, he didn't speak like that normally.
I do know that.
Yeah. And has an amazing singing voice.
I remember having to listen to him sing "My Old Kentucky Home" before the Kentucky Derby every year. But yes, he was a classically trained actor.
Yes.
Best known for his role in Gomer Pyle, USMC.
Yep.
So, but yeah, Shazam. Coming
Also
out of Titans
spin-off.
Academy. Huh?
Gomer Pyle was a spinoff as well as this book is.
Yeah. It's true. Spinoffs.
Starting to tie together, you know.
Yeah. Titans Academy.
Yep.
Like I said, I like Shazam. It's only a 4-part miniseries. It is drawn by Marty, I forget his name. Clayton Henry, who has done a ton of great stuff.
Absolutely.
Including Archer and Armstrong and Exiles and Exo Manowar and what was the other thing? Oh, Book of Death.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the other
a
one.
lot over at Valiant.
Yeah.
By the way, while we mentioned Valiant real quick, just want to give a congrats to Rob Levin, former editor over at Top Cow, who is now on board as a executive editor, I think, or an editor at Valiant, as of announced today.
Nice.
So all of you writers out there who know Rob, start sending your pitches in now.
Yeah. Inundate his mailbox now
Yes.
when he has no power because he's still trying to find out where the coffee machine is.
Exactly. Everybody needs to do their take on Quantum and Woody, making the GOAT the main character. That's your key right there. The GOAT has to be the main character.
Yes, absolutely. The GOAT does have to be the main character because the GOAT is the GOAT.
He is. He is definitely the GOAT. He is
All
the
right.
GOAT of the Valiant universe.
Speaking of not the GOAT,
Supergirl World of
Tomorrow.
Yes.
I was disappointed in issue 1.
Were you?
However, I liked it enough that I'm still reading it. So after the shocking conclusion of the last issue, Supergirl and her new friend Ruthie find themselves stranded with no way to pursue Krem, the murderous King's agent. Each moment this fugitive roams free, the more beings become dangerously close to dying by his hand. There is no time to lose, so our heroes must now travel across the universe the old-fashioned way, by Cosmic Bus. This is the point of the book where they go, moving right along. Footloose and fancy-free. Little do they know their journey will be a dark one filled with terrors not even the Maid of Might is prepared to face. Can Kara Zor-El lie low long enough to ensure safe passage? It's Tom King and Bilquis Evely. Like I said, the first one was a little meh, but I liked it enough, and I can see that it's building to something, so I will keep trying.
Cosmic Bus, I immediately think Douglas Adams.
See, I just think, no, Kermit, we'll get there faster if we travel by map. Or Magic School Bus.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round.
Well, you're probably a little old for Magic School Bus.
I know the Magic School Bus and the teacher, and yeah.
I don't know. Traveling by... That's the part that weirds me out, right? Is like, it's like they're trying to nerf Kara.
Uh-huh.
But, like, she's still Supergirl. Like, but it's like they're trying to make everything else powered up around her to make her seem more normal. which I think was the thing that put me off the first issue.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's it's why I don't find Superman or Supergirl stories that take place on Krypton that interesting. Because now they're just schmucks.
Well, I think they're a little more than schmucks, but okay.
On
But they're
Krypton, they're schmucks.
yeah.
Like they're everybody else has the same powers they do on Krypton. So I don't find it that interesting.
Adam Skinner wants to know what you all got going here.
We're talking about comics.
Yep. Covering the books in the shops tomorrow. Giving you an idea of what you should buy. Letting you know some of the new books coming out and some of the indie favorites for Kyle. Kyle's an indie guy. So,
let's see. Our next DC book is, I believe, a book that is spinning out of Future State. But I can't click the right stupid thing here to bring up Batman the Authority.
I'm sorry, what?
Superman the Authority? Batman
Superman.
the Authority?
Superman the Authority, #1, Grant Morrison and Michael Janin. And it says, sometimes even Superman finds a task almost impossible. Sometimes even the last son of Krypton needs to enlist help. Some tasks require methods. There's too much use of the word some and sometimes at this point. Tasks require methods and heroes that don't scream Justice League. So Clark Kent, the Metropolis Marvel, seeks out Manchester Black, the most dastardly of rogues, to form an all-new authority tasked with taking care of some business on the sly. Not only will Black know the right candidates for the team, but if Superman can make him behave himself and act in a service of greater good, then he'll prove literally anyone can be a hero. They'll have to move quickly, however, as the Ultra-Humanite forms his own team to take out the Man of Steel. This new limited series helps launch an all-new Superman status quo, setting up story elements that will reverberate across both Action Comics and Superman Son of Kal-El in the months to come. So they're telling you this is important.
Well, but every time I hear the Authority, I think of the faction from WWE that was just like Vince, Stephanie, and Shane McMahon and their associated hangers-on. But also because it's in the somebody in the chat board on the site I use for pulling my notes reminded me of respect my authority.
Yep. But I think of the Authority and I think of the actual team, Midnighter, Apollo, the Jay Hawksmoor, the Architect, those characters. I don't think about Manchester Black.
It's true.
And is that supposed to be Midnighter on the cover?
I believe it is.
Okay, well, at least they got him.
In the notes, let me... So characters in this book: Apollo, Enchantress, Manchester Black, Steel, and Superman. Well, we know where there's Apollo, there's Midnighter.
True.
They are a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde style team.
Yeah.
So,
and Steel looks like it's John Henry's daughter, I think it is.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll give it a shot. Because it's Future State stuff, I'll give it a chance.
Well, plus it's
Grant Morrison, taker of fine African tree drugs. I'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
Every time I say that, I feel I need to qualify the statement.
No, I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
Neil Gaiman, I understand. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. But Neil Gaiman used to say that he and a bunch of others would work really, really, really hard to write stories for Sandman and for DC. Grant Morrison would go off and take fine African tree drugs and come back and write them all under the table. So, that's how talented Grant Morrison was or is in Neil Gaiman's view, which I don't disagree with.
Or that's how talented the fine African tree drugs are.
Well, it's can't have one without the other.
I don't know. Maybe we should try a different writer on fine African tree drugs. Perhaps Josh
Okay, I'll
Dysart.
have some sent to the house.
All right. See what happens.
Yep. All right. Moving on from there, also at DC, we have Dan Jurgens' favorite characters. I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, he might like Blue Beetle better, but I think he's a big fan of Booster Gold. I think it's probably one of his favorite. But then again, we actually had an interview with Dan Jurgens here on The Experience where he got interviewed by a guy in a Booster Gold suit, and I'm still not sure how I feel about that.
He got interviewed by Booster Gold, aka Aaron Halland of A Comic Shop in Florida. Aaron is a Booster Gold cosplayer.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things he enjoys. He really likes the character of Booster Gold. And so when we said we're having Dan Jurgens on way back then and we were talking to him, he goes, "Dad?" And when he said that in a planning meeting where he wasn't going to pay off, I'm like, we got to have him interview him now as Booster Gold. And he went, "Wait, we can do that?" And I go, "Who's going to stop us?" And so we start working on it. And at one point, Nick was like, "Should we tell Dan?" And I went, "No." And he goes, "Why?" I go, "Because I want to be able to record the look on his face when his interviewer is Booster Gold." And I think Dan had a good time with it. So
I watched part of it. You replayed it, I think, a 4th of July weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the scariest part of that entire story you just told is we have planning meetings?
Oh, we did back before we started.
Oh, okay.
Now it's just me doing this stuff in my head. No, we actually, yes, we have planning meetings once a week, actually.
All right.
Most of the time, it's just me and Nick yelling about why the other one is wrong about who was best in Crisis, but still, they are supposed to be planning meetings.
Yes.
All right, Blue and
By the way,
Gold.
The answer is not the Flash because the Flash died, and if he was best, he would have lived.
Right. Blue and Gold #1, application denied. Desperate to regain the spotlight, Booster Gold looks to attract the public's and the Justice League's attention the same way any washed-up second-rate hero would. Social media. Dan, I think we just got called washed-up second-rate superheroes. I'll take it.
Yeah, I think we did.
The not-so-tech-savvy hero from the 25th century enlists the help of his best friend, Blue Beetle, who possesses both the money and the brains to help his old pal navigate the scary world of internet influencers. Booster Gold, link in bio. Watch out, evildoers, our heroes are live and online. Don't miss Dan Jurgens' triumphant return to Booster Gold with the help of all-star artist Ryan Sook, who did Legion of Superheroes, telling a tale filled with heart and maybe even redemption for DC's two favorite underdogs. I'm triggered.
Yeah, I could see that. I got to tell you, I'm mixed on this one. I like Dan Jurgens' writing. I am a big fan of Ryan Sook's art. I like the characters of Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. I'm just not big on silly comics, so I'll have to sit down and see how much of the silly premise will it be more of a sitcom type thing, or will it be here's the premise, but we're gonna move it towards serious? So that's what I want to see.
What I am hoping with this is that it's kind of like the Spider-Man book we just had, where it's what would you do if you were Spider-Man or you were one of these characters in today's culture where everything is shared online?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not ashamed to say I'm one of those people who's on TikTok. And I mean, Dan's on TikTok too for the experience. But the thing about it is, like, I follow a guy on TikTok who's a tow truck operator. And he'll go live just for hours, and it's him fixing flat tires on the side of the road and him hitching up cars and pulling big mechanics toolboxes. And it's just his whole life is live. If you were a superhero and you were trying to maintain your relevance, that'd be what you do.
Yeah.
So
But
there's
you won't get taken seriously.
But if you're Booster Gold, have you ever been?
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, what I'm getting at here, and this is my thinking, is did you ever see that show Men of a Certain Age?
Yeah.
With Ray Romano and Scott Bakula and Andre Brower?
Mm-hmm.
It's that. It's Booster Gold's coming to terms with he's not the young buck anymore. He's not the guy who, is the clown prince of comics. He's a little long in the tooth, and he's got to find a way to maintain his relevance. And this is how.
Yeah. What's funny, though, is I don't think Booster Gold was ever considered a silly character until the Justice League Detroit and teaming him up with Booster Gold.
You mean Blue Beetle?
Yes.
Well, I mean, if you're going to put a Justice League in Detroit, they're going to be a laughingstock. I'm from what Journey calls South Detroit, a.k.a. Toledo. I know. With the exception of the MC5 and, Bob Seger, I mean, the White Stripes, everything else that's ever come out of Detroit's been a joke. So, maybe not the Mustang. No, that's...
I'll have to ask Paul Story what he thinks about that.
Well, it's funny because Paul Story will tell you the same thing. Hey, nobody makes fun of my little brother but me, man.
True.
And Paul Story's in West Bloomfield. It's different. That's like Dan's in Dan's in LA. No, Dan's not in LA. He's in a different city. It's different.
I'm about 20 miles outside of LA.
Right, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's right. I don't like avocado toast.
Right. You don't see the Kardashians at the grocery store.
Nope.
So it's different. All right.
But I did watch the DeLorean scene being filmed when for the original Back to the Future. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Right here.
I was supposed to be in Cleveland the day they shot the scene where Bane blew up the football stadium.
Yeah.
In Batman. And I couldn't get in to where I needed to be because the roads were closed because they were filming some Bane blows up cars. And so I missed out on getting to be an extra in that movie because I got to watch them blow up the cars for Batman from like 2.5 miles away. Not even close enough to really see what was going on.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a real bummer. Like, we drove 2.5 hours for nothing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got one more DC book.
Yes, we have one more DC book. Batman.
Superman.
Superman
Blue and Red 5.
Yes.
There's no dog in the multiverse quite like Superman's real best friend, Krypto. Okay, you already have my money. You're doing a Krypto story. Join us this month for an epic retelling. What?
The cover says Werner's Wagon o' Wieners.
Very illiterate.
So strange.
Should I go on?
Yeah, let's.
Okay. Join us this month for an epic retelling of Superman's canine companion's origin story, along with 4 additional tales about the Man of Steel, including one that proves that even in his secret identity, Clark Kent is just as super. While Superman is known for his larger-than-life heroism, in this issue we tell the story of a delicate infant rocketed through the unforgiving universe. Also meet for the first time the man rescued by Superman more often than anyone else in the multiverse. Wouldn't that be Jimmy Olsen?
I was
Also-
going to assume it was Werner, whose truck of wieners Superman
be.
has.
And follow Pa Kent as he learns what it really means to be the father of a superhero and how you can't be rescued from an oncoming tornado. You just have to stand there with your hand out, shaking your head no. We got Judd Winnick, G. Willow Wilson, Brandon Thomas, Mark Buckingham, Daniel Warren Johnson, Valentin DeLandro, Ibrahim Mustafa, Barat Pekmezki. That's what I
Your
got.
guess is as good as mine on that one.
Yeah. So this is another one of those books where they focus on the color palette. In this case, red and blue, Superman's biggest colors. And they just, kind of delve into the character a little bit more. In this case, Krypto, Pa Kent, and whoever Superman keeps rescuing the most.
Yeah,
How it's not Jimmy Olsen or Lois Lane, I don't know.
right. Well, who else could it be? I mean, unless the Superman have to continually rescue Krypto?
Hey, maybe it's a story, one of those Groundhog Day-like stories, where every day he gets rescued by Superman.
Yeah. Like that's just his whole life?
Yeah. Which reminds me, last night I watched that, I don't know if you've seen it on Hulu, but the movie Boss Level with Frank Grillo.
I've seen about it. I've not seen it.
I was surprised how much I enjoyed that. Even though it's a trope we've seen before, the whole scientific reloop of the day thing, they did enough differences and there's enough unique moments in it that it was enjoyable. I liked it.
Yeah.
A lot of big action.
I watched Gunpowder Milkshake.
How was that?
Somebody's seen too many Coen Brothers movies, but also obsessed with Tarantino and Sam Raimi.
Interesting.
But good otherwise. So, Dan, if you don't mind, we're about a minute early, but let's take our break. We'll come back and we'll hit the indies.
Sounds good to me.
All right. We'll be right back, everybody.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise. A promise of adventure. A promise of excitement. A promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page, there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit ComicShopLocator.com today.
What's up, everybody? We're back. I need to step away for just a second, so I'm going to let Dan talk about his upcoming Dan Wickline shows and Pop Go the Writers and that kind of stuff for a couple minutes. I'll be back very, very quickly.
All right. So the Dan Wickline show this morning, we ran an episode with the woman known as AZ Power Girl, Cara Nicole. Had a good chat with her about the cosplay industry, the books that her and her husband, Alfred Trujillo, do. The book called Fire Bitch, and a card set that she does, 52 pickup that she's doing, which is all unique cosplay photos. You can find that online probably tomorrow on the YouTube channel if you've already missed it. Tomorrow's Dan Wickline show we'll be covering the news and some of the latest stuff. We haven't done a real touch base and some of the things that have been breaking. And then on Thursday night at 6 o'clock, where we normally do our Loki spoiler review, since there is no more Loki and we haven't gotten to What If yet, we will be doing a discussion with Tom Rash, a Marvel Comics artist who has a new Kickstarter. So we're going to talk about his book and just his art process and what, his background and stuff. So join us for that. On Sunday over on Pop Go the Writers on my YouTube channel, that will then be redone here the following Saturday, I will be talking with the original Pop Go the Writers co-hosts, Rosalinda Diaz and Dan Taylor, who are both back because they are launching new Vela series for the Kindle. Amazon is doing a new Kindle Vela, which is basically like chapter books almost, or short little novellas. And both of them have launched, or is launching. Dan has a book called Adventures in Time with Zebulon Prime. And Rosalinda is doing a book called The Goddaughter, I believe. Or at least that's the title she mentioned to me, which should be interesting to see what that's about. It's a YA adventure. And both of them will be talking about that and how Vela works, which I will be happy to hear because I'm going to pretend to be a guy who doesn't know anything about Vela and who might be interested in doing a book of my own. So I'll pretend so that anybody else out there will be able to, get the same answers that I need. So that's coming up on the Dan Wickline show and on Pop Go the Writers. Saturday's Pop Go the Writers will be a rebroadcast that Rosalinda Diaz came back, and it's Paul, Rosalinda, and I as we discuss the season finale of Loki and all that it pertains or entails. That was pretty interesting. So if you guys haven't seen Loki, it is definitely worth watching. And now you're going to want to watch What If, because I have a feeling the What If stories may not necessarily tie directly into the MCU, but I think they'll help establish just all the diversity that is out there in the multiverse. So when they come back and they kind of squish everything together and they make some major changes, you'll be prepared for that because we will have seen it in What If. Hey, look, Kyle's back.
Thank you, Dan, for stalling.
Not a problem.
All right. Want to switch over to the indies?
Yeah, let's do the indie books.
All right. Well, let's start over at the Dark Horse Comics.
The Dark Horse.
With Tales from Harrow County.
Yes.
Harrow County was wildly successful in its first iteration. And now it's coming back.
Yep, it doesn't seem like we can go a week without having a brand new Colin Bunn book. Can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Colin Bunn book.
It's kind of true, but why did we slip into 1920s radio announcer there for that?
Because there's an old SNL skit about somebody looking for directions about, and an S&M bar comes up and the guy sits there and he says, can't swing a dead cat without hitting an S&M bar. So I just did that voice.
I picked up a record at the record store the other day. It was Saturday Night Live. First time Chevy Chase did Jimmy Carter.
Okay.
I just have the vinyl record of it now. It's the whole episode, end to end.
I didn't know they did vinyl records for.
Didn't either. I thought it was just like best sketches of this group,
Yeah.
because I said Chevy and John Belushi and like a lot of that original cast, and then some later ones. But I thought it was just best sketches. But no, it's just an episode end to end.
So how many people are out there right now do you think are going, what's a vinyl record?
It's coming back. It's a very we just had Saturday was Record Store Day.
Yeah, Lisa keeps telling me the fanny pack is coming back too, and I'm not buying it.
It is, but you have to wear it around your shoulder like a bandolier.
That just seems stupid.
It is, but that doesn't mean it's not a trend. The Flock of Seagulls haircut was stupid.
Yes.
That doesn't mean it wasn't a trend.
Fair enough.
Every one of these references, I'm punching beyond my age. All right. Fresh off the lot. Cullen Bunn and Emily Schnall. Fresh off the loss of her goblin friend to a strange portal, Bernice must weigh her responsibilities as protector of Harrow County with her desire to get her companion back safe and sound. But the past weighs heavily as the fair folk use Bernice's and her memories against her. Something more disastrous than she could have feared may be around the corner to threaten both the world of humans and of Haints. Eisner nominee for Best New Series.
Yeah. Harrow County did very well when it came out, so this is a new spin-off series from it. Fair Folk. If you like your good, and Cullen Bunn is just killing it, putting out a ton of horror. Every week we are talking about another Cullen Bunn book, whether it's his Shadow Man for Valiant. I've lost track.
He's doing a bunch of stuff at Aftershock. He's doing stuff at. Didn't he have a book at AWA? He's just all over the place and doing killer things. He's done. We've had him on the Experience a couple times to talk about some of the other stuff he's doing. So I mean, can't miss out on Cullen Bunn.
Right.
Let's stick with companies that start with D, shall we, Dan?
Okay.
And head over to Dynamite.
Ah, yes. This is Dan Abnett and Alessandro Miracolo are back. Dan has been doing amazing work with Dynamite lately, and now he gets to have Deja Thoris go up against her true love, John Carter of Mars, in the aptly titled Deja Thoris versus John Carter of Mars #1. It says, an epic adventure reuniting fiction's greatest lovers, Deja Thoris from Barsoom and John Carter from Earth. But their reunion is short-lived. The Longborn, an ancient and mysterious race of immortal gods, have arrived to reclaim what is theirs, Mars. Can Deja and Carter's love hold through a planet-sized war? And my first question is, that setup doesn't seem to tell me why these two are fighting.
He made fun of her shoes.
He cheated one of those 6-armed Martians?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing we've heard of John Carter doing.
True. So, yeah. I love the John Carter stories. I think Dynamite does a great job with that universe. And I think Dan Abnett, like I said, has been killing it over there. When he did the Vampirella, the Dark Powers, he did Red Sonja, the Superpowers. He's been playing in in those universes and stuff. So love to see him working over on this. And and Dan Abnett, of course, co-creator of the newer Guardians of the Galaxy series for Marvel that we all know and love as the James Gunn movies.
Correct. I they had the movie that didn't maybe go as well as everyone would have liked.
Which is a shame because it's actually a fun movie.
I concur. But it just didn't do as well as everyone would have liked, which,
Yeah.
you'll have that from time to time.
Yep.
But the fact that they're swinging at it, and they're telling these stories, and they're teaming him up with Deja Torres, who, when I was coming up in the industry, you just knew as that one that was a little bit pornographic. To tell, and the stories are definitely not that.
Right.
To tell a new story is super fun, I think.
Mhm. I know for a long time IDW was trying to do stuff with the property,
Mhm.
and I don't know why it never worked out. They were going to do Princess of Mars, but it ended up over at Dynamite, and they've been killing it.
Right, absolutely. It's say what you will about Dynamite, and we certainly make fun of Nick a lot, but
Oh, we
they get these characters like John Carter, like Barbarella, like Deja Thoris, and they do the hard work of creating stories that are relevant to today's people with
But-
characters that maybe they might not know they want to be interested in.
But they still honor the original material too.
Yes.
I look at just about everything they do. The Green Hornet stuff they've done, the Shadow books they've done. They're all, if you're a Shadow fan or a Green Hornet fan, you're going to like what they're doing. It's not a slap in the face like the Seth Rogen movie. They have respect for the characters. They tell stories that fit into those universes with that, but still can attract new readers.
Yeah.
So
another book from another D company.
get us trend going
Devil's
now.
Due.
Devil's Due.
Which
Is
is
that on my list or yours?
This is on my list. Trailer Park Boys get an effing comic book.
Oh,
By Sean DePasquale, Travis Himmel, Josh Blaylock. Devil's Due Comics and the Trailer Park Boys have inked a big fancy partnership to debut the Canadian trio from Sunnyvale Trailer Park in their debut comic series featuring a ton of creators and short stories personally approved by the boys. This wicked anthology series stars Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles in a mix of original shorts that feel plucked right from the TV show, as well as some fantastical tales that can't be done on TV. It's going to be decent.
If you're not familiar with these characters, Ricky's the one with the glass of scotch. Julian is the guy with the cigar, and Bubbles is the guy with the cat and the giant glasses. This is a Canadian show. It's Letterkenny, way before Letterkenny.
Right. If it wasn't for this show, Letterkenny wouldn't exist.
Yeah. This is a completely outrageous, over-the-top show about a bunch of losers who live in a trailer park. I mean, it's that straightforward. Ricky just gets out of prison. He comes home. You never see him without a glass of alcohol. And Julian is the worst best friend you could ever have. Does nothing but get him in trouble and and then Bubbles is Bubbles. He's very
you
unique.
can't really explain Bubbles.
Yeah, it is. It can be extremely funny or extremely painful to watch. So
it is. So it was spawned out of a time where your post Friends, your post Frasier, the big things in comedy are in the UK are The Office, the original Office from the UK, and the Ali G show, which is what spawns Borat.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, you had just come off of shows like Little Mosque on the Prairie and Corner Gas, which were pretty traditional sitcoms. And in the US, like I said, you'd had Beautiful People telling funny jokes, and you had Everybody Loves Raymond. This is the height.
Are you saying Brad Garrett isn't a beautiful person?
I didn't say that.
You kind of implied that.
No, I implied that Ray Romano is not a beautiful person.
Okay. Just have
Not
to defend,
everybody loves Ray.
have to defend Brad Garrett, though. Us tall guys need to stick together.
I love Brad Garrett. In fact, when I played a New York City cop in a play, and the accent I chose was just a Brad Garrett impression. But so
Nice.
this show though is the height of cringe comedy.
Yes.
It's supposed to make you uncomfortable, and it's supposed to make you laugh and go, "Oh my god, I'm going to hell."
Joel has a great comparison there. Says it's like It's Always Sunny, but in Canada. Yeah, this was Always Sunny before Always Sunny, but it's definitely Canadian.
Right.
There is no doubt this is Canadian. And it's just a lot of strange characters and inappropriate humor. So if you are into that, you are going to love this comic. If you don't like that, it's not going to click for you.
No, it would be almost offensive if you're not into that.
Yeah. So
I would be offended by your comedy sensibilities. You would be offended by the comic sensibilities of this book. And Joel says, "I'm getting this comic, eh?" As an aside, if you're looking for something to take your mind off, to turn your mind off and do, on TikTok there is a group, or there's a TikToker called Leroy and Leroy.
okay.
And they are Canadians from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. And they go around and they show you the idiosyncrasies of living in rural Canada. Like, the one video is they're on a street and they go, "Okay, if you're coming to downtown Moose Jaw, you can only park here Monday through Thursday from 1 to 2:30, 3 to 7, except on alternating Thursdays when they clean the road." It's like they and it's just the idiosyncrasies of small town life. And they end everything with, "I'm Leroy, he's Leroy behind the camera. There's always something to do." Like, so if you're into that Canadian brand of comedy, Trailer Park Boys is for you, but so are Leroy and Leroy.
All right.
All right. Okay. Let's bring it back around to a more traditional comic, shall we?
Okay. Usagi Yojimbo, number 21.
Usagi Jimbo. And part of the reason I put this on the list is this is part 2 of Yukichi, which was an introduction of a new character in the last issue. Usagi and his new friend Yukichi continue to carry on the last request of Yukichi's sensei. However, they have stirred up the ire of the local sword school, who are dead set on preventing them from completing their mission. To compound the situation, the school discovers that Usagi is a traitor with a reward for his head. Written and drawn by Stan Sakai with variants by Sue Lee. So that's important that there's a new character in Usagi, but also I associate Usagi with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah.
With radioactive, what are they? Radioactive karate hamsters.
Yes.
This sort of
radioactive kung fu hamsters or something. Right. Yeah.
Yes. This sort of era of this kind of book, right? And part of that is Bob Burden's Flaming Carrot. And today is Bob Burden's birthday.
Happy birthday, Bob.
Happy birthday to Bob Burden.
So we've never found you to be a burden, sir.
No, but also if you could finish that commission, that'd be great.
He's going to be a burden on you.
I have a jam piece that's been 3 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guys who are doing it are incredibly busy. Kevin Eastman, Stan Sakai, Bob Burden. They're all a little busy.
Just a touch.
Yeah, and it's Kevin drew Usagi, Stan drew Flaming Carrot, and now Bob has to draw the turtles.
So he has to draw 4 characters.
Well, I really think he's probably going to draw Splinter or Bebop or Rocksteady.
Oh, okay.
But this all started when Kevin Eastman threatened to draw on a blank cover a My Little Pony rather than a Ninja Turtle. And I go, I don't particularly want you to draw a Ninja Turtle. I says this to him. He goes, really? I go, no, draw whatever you want. He goes, so I could draw you a pony? I go, sure, because how many people are going to have a Kevin Eastman pony? Not that many. And he goes,
Right.
no, I wouldn't do that to you. And he turns the beginnings of a pony into Usagi Yojimbo.
Wow, nice.
So, and then I walked over to Stan and said, can you contribute? And he goes, sure, but it's going to be like 6 months. And I go, no problem. So
I got sat behind Kevin Eastman at the Phoenix Con one year and across from, I think it was Michael Golden. So, and I think I was next to Kurt Busiek. So no one ever got near my table.
yeah.
Just, I spent the entire show trying to sell my books to Kurt's fans, Kevin's fans, and Michael's fans.
And what book did you have out at the time? Was it The Freeze?
No, it was before the freeze. So it would have been some of the Zenoscope stuff. I was also pushing my novels. So.
Oh, yeah. And that fan base is very specific.
Yeah. I didn't have anything specifically for Kevin's group.
No.
So. But I did okay.
I've become very good friends with Kevin, and it's really weird because the Turtles are such a huge part of my life, like my whole life. And so now that like Kevin's someone that I can text with, it's very strange. Speaking of Zenoscope,
Yes. Zenoscope.
it's game night at Zenoscope.
Yes. They're still doing Tales of Terror, but they're doing it quarterly now. Game night number 1. This comes from Ralph Tedesco, Joe Bruscia, and Dave Franchini. We don't know who the artist is, but Igor Vitorino is one of the cover artists. It's all fun and games until an evil spirit or demonic entity decides they want to play too. Games have been around since the earliest of mankind. We have always been drawn to them, and they have become almost ritualistic, sitting around with family and loved ones, following the rules, laughing, enjoying, and declaring victory. But when longtime friends get together for a night of presumed fun and games, they will find out that not every game has a winner. Be sure not to miss our super-sized 72-page game night, deadly enough for the whole family to enjoy. 72 pages.
Right. Remember, this book is $9, y'all. This is gonna be a square-bound book.
Mm-hmm.
$9. It's all fun and games until somebody gets demon possessed. Then it's a party.
Oh, yeah.
Sub-story,
Because we've been telling a lot of sub-stories. When I first started going to San Diego Con, I met a kid named Brian Pope. I call him a kid because he was tiny, but he wasn't that much younger than me. But he worked on a video called Game Master, What Have You Done? And it's all about this group of people that were one short to play Dungeons and Dragons, so they summoned a demon to be their 5th player, and they made him a paladin. And it's a little hand puppet, a goblin or a boglin hand puppet. Boglin hand puppet. Somewhere I have a VHS tape of this video. They need to re-release it because it is absolutely brilliant.
We're one of the guys I originally got into playing D&D with just moved back to town. And he's like, we should get a group together like the old days. And I go, that's, I'm pretty busy. But like there's a night of the week that I could probably squeeze out some time to play.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we only went every other week or something, I could definitely make it happen, And so we start talking about what kind of game we're going to play. And everybody's like, I don't care. I just want to play the healer, or I want to play the wizard, or I want to play this. And I go, I want to play the murder hobo. And they go, what? I go, well, if I know Zeke, Zeke has released one already, but he's about to release his second role-playing game that he has developed. I go, if I know Zeke, he's going to make us play his game and use us as play testers to beta it.
So you're going to try to break it.
And they go, so? I go, so if it's a game that I'm eventually going to wind up running at gaming conventions because I do that for him, I'm going to screw with everyone. So I am. My character is already rolled. He is a priest by occupation, but he's also a goblin.
Nice.
And under my character bio, it just says undercover murder hobo. And they're all, and the GM is already angry at me, and I'm going, "Hey, man, you brought this on yourself. We could have played D&D, and I'd have played along, but no."
I'm currently putting a group together with one of the players is one of the publishers I work for. A little nervous.
I think we should do the whole thing on Roll20 and record it.
I've thought about it. And we are going to play on Roll20.
Huh?
We are going to play on Roll20.
We should record it and air it. Guys, this is how a pitch meeting goes. If you've never been in a pitch meeting, this is how Dan and I pitch.
Yeah.
Man, you know it'd be fun? So.
Oh, yeah. Yep, absolutely.
All right. It's that
we're doing
time.
books. We're doing comics, yeah. We're talking comics.
That time that we take us a quick break.
All right.
We'll be right back after these messages from...
Never know what we're going to talk about.
We'll be right back. We're back!
Yay! We're back!
Yay. All right. This is In Stores This Week. I am Kyle. He is Dan, and we're talking about comics that are in stores this week.
Yes. Where are we going?
Yeah, every time I talk about it, I think, man, that name is really on the head. We really should be more creative. But we're not.
Yeah, but people should know what they're getting when they tune in.
Right. But I mean, it's like your show is the Dan Wickline show. This show is In Stores This Week. Like, between the two of us, I'm just saying we should be able to come up with more puns or something.
Well, you got Popco the writers.
Right. Sure. but I assume that was your co-hosts.
No, that was me. That was me.
But no, like we should be able to come up with more puns. So, guys, if you want to see more puns, hit the heart button on Facebook. If you want to see less puns, hit the thumbs up button. If you want me to start telling pirate jokes, hit the angry face.
I have a pirate joke.
Go ahead.
Guy walks into a bar and there's a pirate there. He looks down, he's got a steering wheel on his crotch. And the guy's like, dude, why is there a steering wheel on your crotch? And the pirate goes, it drives me nuts.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
My favorite is how do you know the restaurant you're working at has a pirate problem?
How?
Long John Silver's. I'm working on it. Yeah. I'm working on it. The Long John Silver's near me has a thing that says now hiring pirates. I go, that's a difficult conversation with HR. You don't get fired, you walk the plank.
Yeah.
Captain Hook is your shift supervisor. The chicken is really made out of lippy parrot.
Yeah, but getting the fries out are a lot easier with a hook.
That's true. Never thought about that. You don't. Well, smelling like deep fry oil is probably better than smelling like you've been on the high seas for 2 years.
True. But they have a lot of oranges.
That's a dark joke, my friend. All right, back to the comics. Let's go with Siphon from Image Comics.
Yes, my buddies over at Top Cow.
Yes.
Let's see. Siphon 1. Motion Ashraf and Patrick Meany are joined by artist Jeff Edwards. Siphon introduces a new supernatural empath who is entrusted with the power to sense and siphon pain from others. Silas, a fast-living EMT, is now able to directly ease the suffering of people around him, but the more he uses his gifts, the more it curses him with carrying the misery of those he's helped. Tormented by his solitude, Silas is befriended by a drifter who eventually draws him into an age-old war that has raged for control of the human condition. So I don't know what the hell is.
You know where this guy's life took a weird turn? When he befriended a drifter. Do you know what happens when you befriend drifters? This exactly. When have you ever seen a movie where befriending a drifter was a good idea?
The movie with Jim Belushi where he gets all those wishes, Mr. Wonderful or whatever it is.
Never seen it.
But I got one.
Hey, it's good. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, unless you're Jim Belushi, do not befriend hapless drifters.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Is that just Beverly Hills Cop for white people?
No, that's Nick Nolte is down and out. And he tries to kill himself in Richard Dreyfuss's pool. And Richard Dreyfuss is running along carrying the cell phone. Not the cell
Richard
phone.
Dreyfuss is the guy from Mr. Holland's Opus, right?
Yes, and Jaws.
Yeah.
In Close Encounters.
Yeah, I like Richard Dreyfuss.
You don't like Nick Nolte?
Well, a few months ago, I had to try to develop a Nick Nolte impression, which has soured me on Nick Nolte.
You just gotta speak gruff and mess your hair up. Oh yeah, a little southern in it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Reggie, I didn't see that gun either, Reggie. Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to do a 48 hours parody commercial when our broadcast day got to 48 hours. But our broadcast days jumped from like 30 to like 55. So it ruined the joke.
Hi, Kyle. Don't know where you went. Oh, there you are. So, Siphon from Top Cow over there.
Yeah.
So, There's another Image book this week too.
There is, but just as an aside on this one, just throwing this out there, there's a John Gallagher variant that's very cool. I like the idea of Siphon, but not as much as I like the idea of the other Image book that's out this week. Even though I don't.
Wait, before, just to let people know, the series of books Top Cow has been putting out, since they've shifted to science fiction and stuff like that, have been phenomenal, by the way. So we're not talking it up enough because I think the pitch is a little, or the synopsis is a little lackluster.
I think the synopsis tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, but it's not exciting.
Yeah,
And
I haven't. This next book I've seen a preview of.
Okay.
I've seen like
but
6
just so
pages.
you know, Top Cow has been doing some amazing science fiction over the last few years. So definitely pick this book up, look at it in the store, get a feel for it, and take it home with you.
Right.
So let's not sell it short.
Right. I will also cop to, for those of you out there in TV land. Last week I was a little under the weather. I still continue to be under the weather, recovering from surgery. I overdid it yesterday because I was feeling good. Now today I feel like I've been hit by this next book, The Mother of Mayhem, Mother of Madness. I have been thrown for a loop, so I'm doing my best, but I'm not as prepared as I normally am. But Mother of Mayhem, written by the Mother of Dragons.
Yes.
Ironically.
Amelia Clark, along with is it Emily Clark or Amelia Clark? It's
Amelia Clark and Marguerite Bennett on this book.
With Lila Lies as the artist.
Right. Game of Thrones superstar Amelia Clark debuts an extra-length 3-issue miniseries. The mayhem begins with Maya, under the weather scientist by day. With Maya, under the weather scientist by day, over the top superhero by night, and badass single mom 24/7. Deadpool action and Fleabag comedy collide when Maya activates her freakish superpowers to take on a secret sect of human traffickers. Mature readers only. Comedy and chaos await in 3 40-page issues by the glamorous artist of Horde, Lila Lies.
Now, first thing you can tell just by the solicitation, this is from somebody from Hollywood because they describe their book by using other properties. Deadpool meets Fleabag. That's your Hollywood pitch way to go. But it sounds like an interesting premise. Reminds me a little bit of The Pro from Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner.
Mm-hmm. So if your store ordered enough, there's a 1 in 100 Mirka Andolfo variant that's really cool, but it's a 1 in 100. There is also a 1 in 50 Jen Bartel variant that is the vegan version of the B cover that's pretty cool. But I think that A cover is kind of the cover to go with, right? Like, it's just got this look that just like it screams, this movie's going to be weird.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, this was a movie poster. You'd stop and want to know what the hell it's about.
Right. I mean, you would definitely go, this movie's strange.
Yep.
Speaking of, did we talk about Gunpowder Milkshake on this show?
Yes, you brought it up earlier.
Okay. I have to finish it tonight, so I'm thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
Like in the back of my head. It's strange. But Paul Giamatti's good in it.
I don't know if Paul Giamatti would be bad in anything. Okay. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Other than that, Paul Giamatti's great.
Okay. I was going to say, do we need to correct you on the whole post Sideways to now career? Everything other than John Adams?
What's wrong with John Adams?
Nothing. It was amazing. Everything other than John Adams since Sideways until now. Until recently. All right. Speaking
William
of
Daniels
guys
was better John Adams.
Who?
William Daniels was a better John Adams.
No argument from me. Speaking of weird careers and odd transitions,
Rick and Morty. I had never watched an episode of Rick and Morty until I walked out of my office, found my nephew and his friend watching the episode with what's a good way to put the slutty dragons.
mm-hmm.
And my mother, my 78-year-old dear mother, turned in her chair watching it and laughing her ass off. So I paid attention to see what my nephew was introducing my mother to, and that is an odd freaking show. But
well, it's from the brain of Dan Harmon.
yes, but a lot of the writers are now the writers for the Marvel Universe. Loki, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man and the Wasp, they're all pulling guys from Rick and Morty, or writers from Rick and Morty, both male and female.
Yep.
But this is Rick and Morty present the Hotel Immortal #1.
Well, Murder at the Hotel Immortal.
Murder at the Hotel Immortal. I missed that word. Okay. Murder at the Hotel Immortal. Alejandro Arbona.
Okay, this is weird.
The title's just the Hotel Immortal.
It's not on the cover, but it's in the notes that the publisher sent.
Yes.
It's on Oni Press's site. It says Murder at the Hotel Immortal.
Okay. Look for Rick and Morty, something about the Hotel Immortal.
Right.
Alejandro Arbona, Mark Ellerby, and it says Murder at the Hotel Immortal? Impossible, you say. Not so. Find out who done stabbed whom in this whodunit issue of Rick and Morty Presents. When Corvelius Daniels checks in for some R&R at the Hotel Immortal, bodies start dropping and accusations start flying. I'm in. It sounds like Agatha Christie meets Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Can we talk about how I appreciate the fact that they did who, whom, and who done it properly?
Yes.
Like, who done stabbed whom is the proper way to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I always love when they get the English right.
Yeah, especially when it doesn't sound right. When your ear goes, wait, no, hang on, that's wrong. No, it's right.
Right. It's like surgeons general or attorneys general. Like, people think that S is in the wrong place, and it's not.
Mm-hmm. Or when we're voting for the comptroller. Nobody knows what the hell the comptroller is.
They oversee budgetary concerns.
Nobody but Kyle knows what a comptroller is.
I only know because somebody made that joke to me once, and I lost 2 days Googling. I hyperfixated on the role of comptroller in many different sectors of life. And those are days of my life I'll never get back.
Rick and Morty fans, you got a new book to pick up.
Yes.
As the season gets started, so.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's
All right, Doc, what else we got?
last song number 4 from Black Mask Comics. So
that one of the dirty books?
No. Last song came out reliably once a year since 2017. So, issue 1 came out July 12, 2017.
Okay.
Issue 2 came out June 27, 2018.
All right, we're doing good.
Issue 3 came out August 19, 2020.
What happened in 2019?
They skipped it. But
That
they
doesn't sound
told us
reliable
they were skipping
yearly.
it. Huh?
That doesn't sound like reliable annually.
No, but Black Mask, that was when Black Mask was going through their restructuring.
Oh, okay.
So they were really good about saying, hey, fans of the last song, we promise we won't forget about you. Because then it came out August 19, 2020, and now July 21st, 2021. Once a year for 4 years for 4 issues. Each book is 64 pages. They're all big, oversized books by Holly Interlandi and Sally Cantorino. So last song number 1, for those of you who don't know, Nicky Marshall was saved by rock and roll, or so he likes to think. An awkward upbringing and turmoil following his father's suicide led Nicky to form a band called Ecstasy with his childhood friend Dre. The music takes them to Los Angeles, raw and gritty and teeming with personalities. Nicky thinks they're ready for stardom, but no one is ever ready for stardom. This first of 4 oversized issues begins in the 1980s, grows out of grassroots clubs, and introduces Ecstasy to the world, whether it's ready for them or not. From the brand new team of Holly Interlandi on scripts and Sally Cantorino on pencils and inks, this unique and heartbreaking story is about letting the music in and how it changes and affects everyone around you for better and worse. Now we come to 5 years later, and the end is all that was ever going to happen, but it's still gutting. Moving on seems futile. A death makes the news. Nicky hangs on rituals. Rewind, rewind, rewind. Something has to break. What's it going to be? Exciting new artist Natalie Jackson takes over pencils and inks to finish Holly Interlandi's rock and roll journey. This is one of those books that's a love letter to the music that the writer grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
Every issue has a playlist in the back to listen to while you read it. And some of the songs in it are songs that you're like, man, that was really good when it came out. But that maybe haven't aged so well. The one I remember from the first issue, and remember, I'm remembering this soundtrack from 5 years ago, was the song "On a Rope." Hold on, I'll tell you who it was by. But it's all about a person who wants to die by hanging themselves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it hasn't aged well from the 80s punk era.
Yeah.
Rocket from the Crypt is the name of the band.
Not familiar with either the band or the song.
The lyrics are basically, "I want to die on a rope." It came out in 1994. Yeah, not maybe a song that is for the, anybody whose brain isn't ready for it.
Yeah.
But it takes these obscure songs that are really important to the writer and makes them really important to the reader. These are the songs that are influencing the characters in the book as they tell the story. So I really loved last song. It was worth the 5-year wait.
This sounds like a very personal story, but it sounded like they changed creative teams.
They changed artists. So Holly Interlandi was new 5 years ago when they started. Or Sally Cantorino and Holly Interlandi were new when they started. But like Sally has gone on to do I Walk with Monsters at Vault, Precog, Human Remains at Vault. Like both of these creators started off at Black Mask because nobody else would take this book, and have gone on to careers outside of this book. Holly, for instance, is doing stuff for Action Lab, Famous Monsters Presents, Irwin Allen's Lost in Space at American Gothic, Project Nemesis at American Gothic. Like, so they've gone on from this like kind of creator-owned thing to having careers doing other comics. So they brought in somebody to help finish.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt. It didn't help that Black Mask went through a year where they didn't publish anything.
True. You got to find
work. That year wasn't the pandemic year.
Yeah, that's tough. They do that, then the pandemic hits.
Right. So for those of you who are paying attention, Black Mask is a company that started off as a couple of dudes like in their garage, publishing ridiculously small print. And they had this huge hit with the book Black. and it threw the company into turmoil because they couldn't handle it. And they basically had to take a year and restructure the company so that it could publish the things they needed to publish with the properties they had. So that's who Black Mask is. Okay.
That makes sense.
Hmm?
Just following along.
Yeah, let me clear some things out here so I can see what we have left here.
I have one
Let's
image
do-
book left on my list.
Huh?
I have one image book left on my list.
Which was?
IDW book, Bermuda.
Yes. Sorry. I have that, and I have we'll do Bermuda. Because
All right.
I'm feeling triangular all of a sudden.
This is from John Layman and Nick Bradshaw. So already, this is pretty awesome. I mean, come on. The New York Times bestselling, multiple Eisner Award-winning writer John Layman. Nick Bradshaw, just gorgeous art from Spider-Man, Wolverine. And says there's a region in the Pacific Ocean where planes disappear. Ships are lost. Traveling souls go missing. We all know about the Bermuda Triangle. Stuff never to be heard from again. And there's an island within this place, mysterious and uncharted, an island untouched by time and civilization, where all who are lost end up. Bermuda lives here. She's 16, scrappy, and a survivor. And this has been the only life she has ever known until today. She's discovered something on her island that will either open a doorway between her world and ours or destroy it. So you've got this basically young girl raised in the Bermuda Triangle who might end up back in the real world, which that's a unique twist on the whole, raised by wolves, raised by, Tarzan thing. Could be a lot of fun. Could be very interesting. And it's John Layman, so it's going to be just off the wall.
I do believe that the island they're referring to is the island that the Beach Boys are trying to convince the woman to go to in the song Kokomo.
Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you, mama, come
See?
on, mama.
They're asking her to come on, Pretty Mama.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
maybe this is the sequel to Key Largo or Kokomo.
You know that Mike Love tried to do a follow-up song to that?
No.
It was after all the rest of the Beach Boys had left to be the Beach Boys,
Mhm.
and there was Mike Love's Beach Boys that included John Stamos.
Yes.
He did a record where he tried to write a sequel using basically the same chord progression, except that syllabically it didn't work because he didn't have Brian Wilson to fix it. Also, Mike Love's a terrible person, but we won't get into that.
The opinions expressed by Kyle are his own.
Facts expressed by Kyle Northrup in this show are facts that can be Googled. Mike Love is a terrible person, and I'm not talking about his politics.
Okay.
I'm talking about his treatment of drummers.
Well, he's not as bad as Spinal Tap, right? Or Gene Simmons.
Similar. Yeah. All right. Dark Blood.
Dark
from
Blood.
Boom Studios.
Yes. Boom shakalaka. Dark Blood is from Latoya Morgan and Walt Barna. What if you were given the power to change the course of history? Alabama, 1955. Avery Aldridge is an ordinary young black man, a decorated World War II veteran. Avery provides for his wife and daughter, but wounds of the past have a way of coming back, and Avery will soon discover he is anything but ordinary. After a run-in awakens strange new abilities, Avery is about to become more powerful than he could have ever dared to dream. In a country and society that never wanted him to have any power, a bold, evocative, genre-bending saga by screenwriter Latoya Morgan, who comes from AMC's The Walking Dead and Into the Badlands, and rising star artist Walter Barna from the Osiris Path. Perfect for fans of Department of Truth and Bitter Root, which are both books we've covered on the show here.
Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, neither of them are Boom titles.
Yeah.
So what really gives me a lot of hope for this book, one, is I love Into the Badlands.
Yes.
So I like LaToya Morgan's writing. Osiris Path had beautiful art, and then if it's for Department of Truth and Bitter Root, Boom had books they could compare this to in their own stable, I'm sure. But to put it in the company of those two books means they think this is an award winner.
Yeah.
They think this is, hey guys, get the first print while you can, because you're not going to be able to.
Yep.
So, something to think about. This book already does have a second printing listed.
Yep. Means people are already grabbing it.
Yep. So just be on the lookout for that. That may be a problem if you haven't already put it on your pull list, and you're just hoping to pick it up off the rack. You may struggle tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. It's a heavy book. Remember to lift with your knees and just.
Wow, it took me way too long to get that, Dan. Oh. Whew. I feel real bad now. It should not have taken me that long to get that joke.
It's okay. It's time for a break. Let's run a commercial, collect yourself. We'll come back and we'll talk about Marvel.
Okay. Let's
take a moment to yourself. JD will be here when he comes back.
Yes, they did die.
Yes.
So did all of the ones for Kiss, and so did many of the ones that weren't John Stamos from Mike Loves Beach Boys.
Peter Criss is still alive, even though people thought he was dead. But they thought he was homeless.
Well, he's dead to Gene Simmons. We'll be right back. What's up, everybody? We're back. It helps if I put us back on screen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can leave me off screen. That's fine. I can, just hang out here by myself. All by myself.
Don't wanna be all by myself. Okay.
Anymore.
Speaking of all by himself, the Thor
Thor.
annual.
Yes.
That's a joke about how Jane Foster's dead.
Yeah. She's. I didn't know she was dead. Oh, that's right. She's a Valkyrie now.
Yeah.
She's dead, so she's okay. All right.
Well, okay, so she died, then nothing ever stays dead. So it's I hate the Thor universe. Okay.
Thor Annual #1: Clay McLeod Chapman, Jed McKay, Aaron Cooter, and Juan Ferreira. Thor versus Thor. Thor and the other leaders of the 10 realms and Hawkeye have gathered for a World Tree celebration. But the festival comes to an abrupt halt when a mysterious guest and his otherworldly powers crash the party, and his +1 is a dark, twisted version of Thor who is determined to become the iron-fisted ruler of all the realms. And by the way, if you are reading the Infinite Fury story, Part 5 is here. So you want to pick up this if you want to keep the Infinite history story or Fury story going on.
Yes. Things to be on the lookout for is if you've picked up, if you are reading the Infinite Destiny story, there is a Ron Lim connecting variant for you.
Nice.
Look, this is one that Dan put on his list. I'm not reading Thor and I'm not reading Infinite Destinies right now. However, Aaron Cooter, who is primarily known as a cover artist, drew the insides. So that's a win on the surface of it.
Mm-hmm. And when I put my list together, I try to pick things that are good jumping on points, new issues, one shots, things that for people to be able to expand when they get to the store. So Here's a Thor Annual #1. It should be standalone enough that you can read it and might interest you in the other Infinite Destinies, or it might interest you with what's going on with Thor. But again, if you're looking for something new, additional, you were saying that this week's collection for you, or this your pull list, is about 40% short from what you normally get. So this might be something worth picking up.
Comes up a little short. I pick up hardcovers and trades and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but having a Thor Annual with Aaron Cooter art would be something that interests me. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I meant. Like, because it's Aaron Cooter art, even though this is not something I would traditionally read,
right?
It gives me a reason to look at it and jump on.
Right. And you never know. You might end up going, hey, this Infinite Destinies thing's pretty cool. I should pick up the other ones.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly it.
Yep.
All right. Another part of another multiple book series is Ultimate Carnage Phage.
Yeah, this one's interesting.
Phage.
Phage, #1, Steve Orlando and Gerardo Sandoval. But this starts off by simply saying Flash Thompson is back. After the shocking revelation of Extreme Carnage Scream, spoilers, I guess, because they don't tell us what it is, but Carnage sets its sights on Phage symbiote. Carnage is the only familiar face on the board, though, isn't the only familiar face on the board. After a rendezvous with his student, Andy Benton, Flash Thompson is back and ready for a fight. Now, are they telling us that Phage is Flash Thompson? One of the original.
That's how it reads to me.
Yeah. So,
oh my God, Dan, have you seen the Scotty Young cover for this?
I have not. Do you have it?
1 second, I will.
We pause now while Kyle types and does his magic.
So, and I will just so it can be more easily seen, we'll do it this way. Share screen, window, share.
If I could turn back time.
So you have Spider-Man and Phage. What's up, Carnage? I am not Carnage. I am Phage. Phage like the cheese? That's fromage. Oh yeah, you're right, Phage. So what's your stick? Well, I mostly do goopy spiked hand things. So you're Carnage. No, he's red and I'm yellow. Okay, I gotta run. Good talk, Yellow Carnage.
He's picking on his own books. I love it.
That was a good time.
Fromage was probably the best part.
Right. Okay, fromage. And that's why I said P. Haig. You know, it's
Yep. So are you going to get the Scotty Young cover?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
I've been reading the Carnage books,
Yeah.
the Ultimate Carnage books, or Extreme Carnage books. I have not been happy with myself for doing so. Just because it feels like it's telling Marvel to keep doing this thing that I don't necessarily agree with. However, when they keep being awesome, I have to keep reading them.
See, JD just added a little commentary into the chat, but I don't want Marvel to see it. Don't put it on the screen because that'll be the next big book.
JD, I agree with you.
Yeah, we agree with you, but I think Marvel might take that term and make that the next big Carnage Venom related series.
I just had the funniest thought, but I can't turn it into something this fast. Do you know the song Overkill by Colin Hay?
Yeah, it's just overkill.
Yeah. I can't get to sleep. I worry about the
implications of diving in too deep and possibly the complications.
Right, but like I'm trying to figure out how to turn it into a symbiote song.
I can't believe I just pulled that old of a Men at Work song like that.
He just re-released it.
I didn't hear it, and it's still a Men at Work song.
Well,
Before.
Colin Hay is doing he's doing like touring where he plays like small venues and like outdoor like he'll play the Toledo Zoo.
Okay.
Well, we have an amphitheater that was built in the 1920s by the WPA.
Okay. Makes sense.
And so every summer they bring in a kind of a mix of bands from the 60s through the 80s and the early 90s. Weird Al plays there every couple of years. But
so Rick Springfield's been there.
No, he plays at the Quarry.
Okay.
Where we also have a big concert venue. But Colin Hay came with Steve Miller and the Flaming Lips. No.
That would be an odd combo.
Steve Miller, Colin Hay, and somebody else. Another Australian, English.
Midnight Oil?
Same era. No. It might have been one of the guys who was in Steely Dan.
Oh.
Might have even been Steely Dan. Anyhow, the best story of that night is Steve Miller's headlining. He comes out and he launches into Jet Airliner, but he's playing it off key and slow. And everybody's looking at him and going, oh no, this might be one of those things where this guy you've paid all this money to come see can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And he waits until I'm in the sound booth. I'm working the show. He waits until he sees the audience start to murmur. And he stops and goes, nah, I'm just effing with you. And he launches back into it. And it sounds just like the record. Like that's how he started his show. And it was a barn burner. It was awesome.
Nice.
But no, Colin Hay just put out a greatest hits record.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. I'm a big fan. First cassette I ever bought was the second album from Men at Work.
I discovered him because of Scrubs.
Oh no, I saw him when the first back when the first video showed up on MTV. So that's the age difference between us.
Yeah.
When Who Can It Be Now first debuted on MTV,
I love that song.
Oh, me too.
All right.
I love it. I used to listen to the cassette every night before. When I was a kid, I would put it on and let it play when I was trying to go to sleep.
Yeah. No, it's true. We talked about Steely Dan Wickline. Oh my God! Tomorrow's Dan Wickline show. That's your name. I am Steely Dan Wickline, as played by Shaquille O'Neal.
Jesus.
Well, because you're almost as tall as him.
Not quite, but yeah, okay.
Almost.
Almost. So.
Closer than most. All right. We have 3 books left, including Gamma Flight number 2.
Yeah. Not a big solicitation on this one. I can get to it quickly. The biggest reveal of the summer. Who is after Gamma Flight? You've been calling for them since Immortal Hulk, ever early days. Well, true believer, we're here to deliver. Come to Gamma Flight for all the radioactive wonder you've been missing. And the characters you love to hate. Al Ewing, Crystal Frazier, and Lan Medina.
Well, and so in this, you have characters in this book are Absorbing Man, Doc Sasquatch, Puck, and Titania.
Puck, yes.
But you also have the return of Scar, Son of Hulk, on the cover.
Yep.
So, I mean, I like Scar quite a lot.
Yeah. I'm a big Puck fan. Yeah. I've liked Puck since the early days of Alpha Flight.
I liked Puck back when he was in Shakespeare Plays.
Midsummers, yeah.
That's a deep cut.
Yep. I like when he was still just smacked around a hockey rink. And then Titania is going to probably pop up in the She-Hulk TV series.
Did you see, and you'll probably talk about this tomorrow on your show, that Jamila Jamil has confirmed her casting in She-Hulk?
She's confirmed her casting, but not her role.
Right, no, but she's just said, yeah, I'm in it.
Yeah.
Which is great because that means we're one step closer to getting the Impractical Jokers in the Marvel Universe.
Well, see, I look at it this way. That's 2 people from The Good Place in the MCU now. Because you got her, and you got Pillboy, and Cordero.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about Pillboy.
Which means we need to start a campaign.
Who is Ted Danson?
No, we need Donkey Doug.
Okay, I can mind that. By the way,
Mitch is actually a buddy of mine, so I want to get Donkey Doug. So everybody start training, get Donkey Doug into the MCU. Hashtag Donkey Doug or MCU Donkey Doug for the MCU. Let's start that.
Yes. But no, so Scar is back. I like it. Just as a quick aside, because we've done a lot of asides tonight because it is a light week. I put out there. I don't know if it was on the show with you or who I was on with, who I was talking to. That one of the what ifs I want them to make is what if the original Marvel bullpen were the Fantastic Four?
Oh yeah, with Saul Brodsky, Jack Kirby, Flo, and Stan. Yeah.
Yes. And somebody said that Mark Maron should play Stan.
Yes, absolutely.
And I went, oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah, I've heard that from a few people that he looks. If they ever did a Stan Lee movie, he'd be absolutely perfect. Yeah. And we have an actor who's played Jack Kirby once before. When you look at the Argo movie.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I'm just saying.
This sounds like a wrestling name to me. Who is Megan Thee Stallion?
She is a rapper.
Oh, she's a rapper. Okay. Ted Danson dates Aunt May in the Spider-Man. Okay, no, he seems too old for her.
Yeah, he's way too old for Marissa
Tomei
over Top Dead Center. Marissa Tomei. That was a My Cousin Vinny reference. All right.
So the 2 Utes.
Yes, the 2 Utes. So the last 2 books from Marvel this week are 2 absolutely monster heavy hitters.
Yes.
Like I always try and save the biggest book from one of the big 2 for last. And it's a coin flip. So I'm going to go in the order in which I think it's going to happen.
All right.
So we're going to start here with Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters, Jabba the Hutt. Not Pizza the Hut, Jabba
No.
the Hutt.
Pizza's going to send out for you.
Mm-hmm. Written by Justina Ireland, Ibram Robertson art, along with Luca Pizzari. Jabba never forgives. Jabba never forgets. Jabba the Hutt is one of the most powerful and ruthless gangsters in the galaxy, and Boba the Fett is his most trusted bounty hunter has failed him. How will Jabba deal with the betrayal? Violently. And what does this have to do with a bounty hunter with ties to the High Republic? Justina Ireland and Luca Pizzari's Hutt-sized spectacular is the first of 4 action-packed War of the Bounty Hunters tie-ins in the criminal underworld's most notorious hunters and scoundrels, all told by the best Star Wars writers and illustrators in the galaxy.
Yep. Jabba's going to be big. Boba Fett is going to continue to be big. I mean, this series, and you've got Book of Boba Fett coming out at the end of this year. So,
But in this book, you also guys get Bib Fortuna and Devalampop, which is not a character you see all that often and is featured on the Bernard Chang variant.
Well, Bib Fortuna's been getting a lot of airtime lately.
Yes, Bib does, but Deva does not.
Right.
You also get Droopy McCool, which is not a character I remember from the Star Wars universe, but is the name of my Boy George ska cover band.
All right. All right, we're stretching now.
Will, I want all these people to have superpowers, not just kind of be like vaguely eating dinner at Spider-Man's house.
Right. Yeah. So,
all right.
The Star Wars Bounty Hunter stuff, the War of the Bounty Hunters has been great.
Yes.
It's nice to see the comics picking up. I know I've been following the High Republic stuff, which I've been a big fan of. I love the characters in that. I love that there's a Trandoshan Jedi. That is just my gig right there. But focusing on the bounty hunters, this has been absolutely great. So it's nice to see all of the Star Wars books really picking up the pace and doing some really great stuff.
All right. Absolutely. Completely concur. Yeah. All right.
This is the book I'm most looking forward to, though.
This is the book I think will be the biggest, most changing book of the week. Moon Knight #1, his mission is justice. Written by Jed McKay. Art by Alessandro Capicchio. You also have colors and cup variants by Rachel Rosenberg. The A cover is a Steve McNiven cover.
Yeah.
There's a Scotty Young variant that, I'll be honest, is not the greatest Scotty Young variant ever, especially in a world where the Gerardo Zaffino variant exists.
Now, this is playing off of the run with, I don't remember who the writer was, but Jason Burrows was the artist. Mr. Knight was introduced. It says, I am Moon Knight. The mysterious Mr. Knight has opened his midnight mission, his people petitioning for protection from the weird and the horrible. The Moon Knight stalks the rooftops and alleys, marked with the crescent moon tag, bringing violence to any who would harm his people. Mark Spector, in whichever guise he dons, is back on the streets, a renegade priest of an unworthy god. But while Khonshu languishes in a prison that Moon Knight put him in, Moon Knight must still observe his duty, protecting those who travel at night. Let it be known, Moon Knight will keep the faith. Yeah, this is just... With the Moon Knight series coming up, they're pushing Moon Knight. That's the David Mack cover, I assume?
Yes. How gorgeous is that?
That is phenomenal.
I mean, I love this McNiven cover. Like J.D. Smith said, there is just some love that Steve McNiven put into that cover.
Yeah.
But this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Moon Knight's going to get a much higher profile going forward, and it starts right here, I think. I think this is going to be a big series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, absolutely. I'm lost in this cover. I'll be real honest.
Yeah.
I'm a big Moon Knight fan. I have been for a long time. I bought some original Moon Knight pages not that long ago.
Mhm.
I'm excited to have it come back, and I like the team that's on this book. So
Yeah. I believe I saw it today, and I'm thinking it's tied to this book. There is a Ken Lashley variant, which is him redoing the Werewolf by Cover night, or the Werewolf by Cover
Werewolf by Night cover.
night cover, where Moon Knight was introduced.
That may be a store exclusive variant.
It might be, but Ken's got it on.
Oh,
both.
I found it here. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, and this is now Ken said, or Ken Lashley says he doesn't normally like doing these kind of covers, but he is really happy with this, how this came out, and comparing it to the original art. I mean, this is a really nice homage to the original cover. Yeah, look at the detail on that.
Mm-hmm.
He even puts the original Werewolf by Night cover corner image. I think we're getting near the end of the show.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this what a brain aneurysm feels like.
Yeah. Do you smell toast?
I smell dust. I taste copper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this, I mean, if you compare it to the original, this is just phenomenal. It, like I said, it pays a great homage to the original cover.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of great covers for this book. Pick the one that makes you happy. Pick all of them. Like I said, I have a feeling this is going to be the big book of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that being said, head over to comicshoplocator.com. Type in your zip code, find local comic shops near you if you don't have some already. Although, if you're watching this show, I assume you have some.
Yeah.
Dan will be back tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific for the Dan Wigline Show, where he will be talking about things.
Yep. Whatever I come up with before the show.
And
I'll be
then,
looking at the latest news, catching up on things like Loki, and I guess Kate Herron has been talking a lot, the director, since the show ended. So there's some interesting news coming out of that.
Absolutely. And then we'll be back Thursday night for the Dan Wigline Show at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific.
With my guest, Tom Raish.
Yes, I will be back Friday on the Original Art Experience with Nick. And Wednesday on Rex and the Not Nicks, where Nick may actually be there. So we will see everybody then. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here.
Good night, everybody.
Click the button.
Safe travels.